Hello and welcome. Let's get right into it. The car ahead has a jump start, very odd, but instead of slamming on the brakes like people usually do when they recognize their mistake and hoping for forgiveness, which never comes and never happens, they just decide to go for it and take off wildly into the distance. I'm too cautious on turn 1. I'm on the outside. I'm in the middle of the track here. Tires are still cold and I do get overtaken. I did qualify in P3, which was nice. And I'm putting myself onto the left hand side. I leave the white car room, and that means I shoot into the inside of that turn a little bit too aggressively. I believe that was my only off track of the race, my only incident point of the race, but do stick around in case there are more. My goal for this particular race was to have 0 incidents, 0x, that was the goal. And let's see if I keep it at least between 0 and 1x on this particular race. I set myself these little micro goals. Major goals are, of course, not get crashed out into turn 1, not finish the race. When I always want to finish the race, that's another goal. And then I have these little goals that I'm working on that I try to achieve. Things like being in the podium positions, being in the points, first position to position 6, applying braking technique consistently in particular corners. Those are my micro goals, and here I set my goal of having 0 incident points. Alright, we're going around. Now that jump start for that car did not really help them at all. That does nothing, because you have to serve a penalty, go through the pits. But it does happen. Every one of us has probably jumped the start lights at some point, at least once. That's how we all learn how the lights work. Here we go, we're still hanging with the crew up front. That's great. Keeping my distance though, in case they do have an incident. At this point, I think there's some sort of tacit agreement, maybe of the top 3 drivers, to not battle it out too much with each other and just pull away from the cars behind. I've noticed that in a couple of the Mazda races before, where the top few cars don't battle until they're a good distance away from the midfield, from the pack behind. There we go, car comes out of the pits. We have caught up to a back marker. Unfortunately, the back marker is going to get pushed out of the way, and we make it past them before they go back on track. I'm going to keep my distance a little bit from the cars in front of me, close enough to capitalize on any of their mistakes, but far enough away to not be caught up in any of the drama. I think that's a good plan. Just stay close enough to capitalize on anything, but not so close that you might get caught up in any shenanigans. They're battling it out. Look at all the different lines that they have going into turn 1. They're trying to overtake on the corner entry to turn 1, position themselves better for the exit. And that's great. All their battling amongst themselves means that I can actually keep up with them while I'm only giving 80 to 90%. I have to make sure I don't get distracted by the different lines, and I keep making sure that I hit my own braking markers. There we go, the red and white car ahead is pulling off a little bit of a distance, of a gap here between the cars behind. The purple car has a little moment going through the right turn here. Maybe that's an opportunity for the future. Gotta keep an eye on that. Everyone taps the brakes slightly here. Fair enough. Could have gotten on the accelerator quicker earlier, but that's a lesson learned. That's why I do these things for myself, so I can review and learn. Alright, here we go. Turn 1, next lap. Staying with the cars ahead, making sure we don't lose sight of them. I think I've overtaken more cars because other cars have gone off track than through merit of my own driving. Time to change that up soon. something to work on. Trying to figure out where to overtake cars though. Corner entry, corner exit, front of straights. I think corner exit in front of a straight is good. Then again, a little bit of smoke coming from the cars ahead. The purple car has issues in this particular turn. So maybe the opportunity would be to put more pressure on them before that turn, and then hopefully make an even bigger mistake so I can actually get past them on the straight. We've caught up to another back marker. The back marker is braking and going to the left, almost crashed into the car ahead, it seems like from this angle. But, you know, normally you're supposed to be predictable. But if you're new, people do go to the left-hand side and pull over. Nothing wrong, everything worked out fine. It did increase the gap between me and the cars ahead just so slightly, so I do have to work a bit harder to keep up with them. There we go, awkwardly going through that turn wasn't optimal, I could do better. Cars ahead are pulling off into the distance. As long as I can see them, I'm okay. They're continuing to battle with each other, which is good for me. Lap times are in the 104.5 range, not best, not ideal, but close enough for what it is. As long as the cars ahead keep battling with each other, there's a chance that they won't pull away too much, and I can actually keep an eye on them from a safe distance. I'm probably too far away from them to capitalize on any minor mistakes that they're making, but at least medium to major mistakes I should be able to get by. Always working on that last turn. I think I should be further to the left-hand side going over the curb before when accelerating to get a better top speed on the straight here. I haven't figured out how to go around this corner with just coasting. Everyone taps the brakes ever so slightly once and then going around here. I have to figure out how to do this better. Again, turn one also a challenge. I think basically every turn here I could do slightly better at, and that will just melt away the lap times. Work in progress. There we go. Left-hand turn. Caught up to another back marker. That'll slow them down. Or maybe not. Depends on where they overtake them. Well, got up to them before the big straight on the back here. That's probably going to make for an easy overtake if they're cooperative. Not that they have to be cooperative, but you never know what happens when there's four cars bunched together. Using the left side of the track here, all the green bits on the curb. The more I try to keep up with them and catch up to them, the more aggressive I drive, and the more aggressive I drive, the slower I actually drive. So that's the lesson as well. Gotta keep it smooth, because smooth is fast. The cars ahead have pulled away a bit more than I would have liked. My lap times are 104.7 on the previous lap. Let's see, what is this here now? I think it's a bit slower. Feels slower. It feels slower for sure, and it is a 104.9. Yep, so they are pulling away a little bit. Maybe they had a fast lap as well, while I now had a slower lap. Now I'm in the points. I have 0x or 1x in my mind. I actually do have this race finished with 1x, so it's not my goal of 0x, but close enough. Still great iRating gain, great safety rating gain as well, so that's fine. And at this point I think I just decided to keep an eye on them, keep close enough to them. If they have a major issue, I am there to capitalize on it, but also I just want to bring it home. There's too much traffic now happening in front, too many back markers now coming up to them, and it might be entertaining. I should have been closer to them. I think I should have worked to be closer to them, but there's no threat from behind. Nobody's coming up from behind, so I'm safe. My position number 4 finish is in the books, as long as I don't make any silly mistakes. Silly mistakes, of course, are me going off track, not figuring out how to steer correctly, or being too close to chaos. And I think here I'm just overly cautious, not trying to add more pressure to them, and I just want to bring it home. This, I think, was a mistake in terms of how I approached this race. My goal was to be in the points with 0x, or just to have 0x even if I wasn't in the points. And now I'm in the points, which is a bonus, and I have 0 or maybe 1x at this point. So goal achieved. Just want to bring it home, but I should have put more pressure on them, and I could have probably gotten a better result. But every small step matters. iRating goes up, safety rating goes up, that's a win. Look at these cars. There's 5 of them in front, and then 1 additional car slightly ahead of them as well. So 6 cars ahead of us that we can view. We're in P4. None of them are making a move either. Everyone just wants to bring it home at this point in the race. The lap times do match that. That was 105.25, so things are getting slower. Everyone is relaxing a little bit. Car's gone off track. See, this is exactly what I wanted to avoid. If I had been further ahead, I might have been part of this chaos. If I had been further ahead, I also might have been able to overtake the 2 cars ahead of me, because they've slowed down due to avoiding that other car there. But you never know what's going to happen, so this is fine. Goals achieved. Alright, we're coming up to the last little bit here. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate your support. Let me know in the comments how many races per week you get to participate in. I usually get around 2 to 3 if I'm lucky and my schedule allows for it. But I'm having a blast. I'm enjoying it. I'm improving ever so slightly. Slow progress is still progress. Goal almost achieved. 1x. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Have a great day. Bye bye.